What if I told you that forcing yourself to stay positive during menopause could actually be making your anxiety worse? In today's enlightening episode, I uncover the damaging impact of toxic positivity on women experiencing menopausal symptoms. So don't miss out on learning how embracing the full spectrum of your emotions can lead to genuine healing and empower you to stop suffering and enjoy an enchanted menopause experience. Welcome to the Women Rockin' Midlife Podcast, soulful wellness to elevate your second act. You deserve to deeply love every moment of your life, living your best life with pure joy, optimal health and abundance, with the energy, time, and inner peace to savor experiences with your loved ones and with yourself. Hi, I'm Jen Kunkel. Join me on this soulful journey to complete wellness in midlife and beyond. This is one of my biggest pet peeves, and it has been one since before menopause. Let's explore the dark side of stay positive culture. It's bad enough just normally in regular life, but it's even worse with menopause. This is about the pressure to maintain a facade of positivity. And this is especially challenging during menopause. It has detrimental effects on your mental well-being. You feel your pain and your struggle during menopause, and you feel like people don't get it. It seems like it's being downplayed, denied, and completely ignored by people who have never experienced it and have no clue. They don't understand. You might even start to think you're overreacting, and maybe it's not really as bad as you make it out to be. Yeah, maybe it is. But you feel expected to tough it out and power through because everyone around you just looks at you like, what do you mean? It's not hot in here. Or they just downplay your symptoms. You think maybe powering through and toughing it out is what you're supposed to do. So you do. Or you think, okay, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's not menopause. Maybe it's not really this bad. You have all these doubts. Like you almost feel like you're being gaslit. But people aren't really doing that on purpose. So I'm not here to blame anybody. Communicate what's really going on, because powering through and toughing it out is not what you're supposed to do. That is BS, because what you're experiencing is real. And here's the thing about powering through and feeling like you have to tough it out and not talking about it, is that you actually have options that can make it easier and less painful, maybe even enjoyable. And if you're just feeling like, okay, I've got to stay in my own little bubble and not talk about this, you might not even be aware of some of the solutions available to you. So the toxic positivity and the whole stay positive culture is just BS in general. Somewhere along the line, positive thinking got jacked up on steroids, and healthy, authentic expression of all emotions got thrown out with the trash. Well, that's wrong. We have emotions for a reason. To feel them, to process. Suppressing so-called negative emotions can actually exacerbate anxiety and emotional turmoil at any time, especially during this incredible life transition. And let's look at it as incredible, not painful. And I'm not saying be fake about it. I'm saying just start to transition that underlying belief that it has to be awful. We'll acknowledge the real pain and then find ways to transition. Don't stuff down the real pain and pretend it doesn't exist and pretend, ooh, yes, it's so wonderful. No, we're going to make it wonderful for real by actually allowing our emotions to do their job. We have emotions for a reason. They're telling you something. They are allowing you to process and experience with the fullness of yourself. Okay? Because as I always say, your body, your emotions, your mind, your soul, your spirit It's all part of you. So you are going to process your experiences fully when you fully express your emotions, when you let yourself fully feel your emotions. Now, I'm not saying if you're angry that you get to run around in a tirade and like go off on everybody. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about allowing yourself to actually feel what you feel. If you feel angry, let yourself feel angry. It doesn't mean you have to express it into the outer world to, taking it out on other people. That's totally not what I'm saying. I'm saying let yourself feel it. Like people are like, oh, you shouldn't be angry. It's like bad for your liver. Yes, anger is connected to your liver in the mind-body map. And if you suppress that anger, guess what's going to happen? Yeah, it's going to stay stuck in your liver. Don't suppress it. Express it in a healthy way. Whatever the emotion you're feeling is, sadness, anything. If you interrupt a perceived negative emotional event by pushing away your authentic emotions and stuffing them down to force the so-called positive emotions, you're interrupting that healthy emotional processing, okay? It's like you're interrupting emotional growth, and part of you is going to stay stuck in that state of feeling whatever it was you're feeling, whether it's anger. Like, you do not want to stuff down anger because it's still going to be inside of you, okay? Emotions initiate the chemical processes in the body, right? And when you interrupt that biochemical process and you interrupt that emotion without feeling it fully in a healthy way, that emotion actually becomes stuck in your body. We all have this energetic field that's part of us. The energy of that experience, whatever experience that emotion was there to process, that experience that you're interrupting because you think I'm not supposed to feel this emotion, it's a negative emotion, you're getting yourself stuck there. That energy is getting stuck in your energetic field. That emotion is stopped from fully expressing and moving through your system in a healthy way. That experience, that energy, that emotion is stuck with you. Or part of you is stuck in that experience, if you want to look at it that way. Even if you stuff it down and don't acknowledge it, eventually it will come back up. And sometimes that eventually is during menopause when your hormones are stirred up. So if you've had a habit of this toxic positivity, maybe you don't consider it toxic, but this is why it's toxic. If you've had a habit or been conditioned to not feel certain emotions because they're wrong, they're negative, they're bad. You're bad if you feel that emotion. Or, oh no, we have to fix that and you need to be happy instead of sad. If you've had a habit of stuffing those things down, then menopause could be a time when all that stuff starts to come out, when your hormones are stirred up. So what's the impact of invalidating your experiences by not allowing yourself to authentically, fully, and healthily express them? And how do we validate the woman's menopausal journey? Well, when we don't feel heard or understood, we can experience stress and anxiety. It's frustrating. You already know it's frustrating. Social stigmas and misconceptions surrounding menopause can contribute to feelings of inadequacy and anxiety, and just like you feel like others don't get it. And you feel like maybe something's wrong with you, right? Like, hey, is this normal? Lots of women are asking, hey, I'm feeling like this. Is this normal? Everyone else around me is acting like this is not normal. So I need to feel heard and understood. So when we and others don't learn and understand, if it's not talked about. So fortunately, there are communities and groups where women can go to be heard and understood and talk about it and realize, no, nothing's wrong with you. Like, we feel like something's wrong with us, like we're overreacting or being crazy. If we feel heard and understood, we realize we're not alone. If we hear or feel that everyone else is dealing with it without complaining or without laying in bed all day, and we start to feel like, what's wrong with you? When you're just talking about it with people who don't understand, who haven't been through it. They're like, I don't get it. I don't see anybody else. Like maybe a husband or a partner or kids or parents or whatever, someone who's never dealt with it might be saying, I don't understand. Like, why don't you have any energy anymore? Why don't you want to have sex anymore? And they don't get it and they think something's wrong with you. And it's not healthy. Like, hey, just push through it. Anyway, let's deconstruct toxic positivity and its pervasive influence in wellness culture, particularly concerning menopause. Society has this habit of seeing any kind of what we label as negativity as weeds, and we see weeds as bad. Instead of accepting our whole self with our whole range of emotions and recognizing that there are healthy ways to express all of the emotions, there is a healthy way to express anger. There is a healthy way to express sadness. There is a healthy way to express grief. I mean, really, when you feel grief, does anybody say, don't feel that grief? I mean, some people might say that. But most people are like, you need to process your grief. That is true for every single emotion that exists. These weeds are seen as bad. Negativity is seen as bad. We label certain emotions as negative emotions. I actually don't like to label emotions as positive or negative because we need to accept ourselves as our whole selves, right? And sometimes we have a hard time accepting these weeds in ourselves. We want to see ourselves as good. And sometimes we're blind to the things we label as bad. We want to stuff those emotions down. The thoughts we have that we label as bad because society has taught us to label them as bad. Some of the viewpoints we take that are labeled as negative or bad. We feel this shame for having these so-called weeds or negative thoughts, feelings, even actions. I think it makes it hard for us to own who we are, who we've been, and really just allow ourselves to be who we are. The culture has a heavy focus on positivity, and in too many cases, it overshadows the importance of healthy processing of emotions, or it completely ignores that importance of healthy processing of our emotions. Even worse, it totally denies the need for it. So my biggest pet peeve in this toxic positivity culture is the saying, fake it till you make it. That is my biggest pet peeve. I feel like that is a huge cause for people suppressing their real, authentic selves. There might be a time and a place to psych yourself up for something. Saying fake it till you make it, I think often it's misconstrued. It leads to people really feeling like they need to stuff down anything that's labeled negative, any of these weeds that are labeled bad. It's so pervasive that even feeling sad about something that would be normal to feel sad about. There was a time when I was dating someone very seriously, and he had to work out of town for a while. And a friend asked, how are you doing with him gone? And I said, I'm a little sad. And she went into kind of feeling sorry for me mode and wanting to fix it mode. And I was like, no, it's okay. It's a normal, healthy sadness. It's not like I'm devastated. I miss him sometimes and I feel a little sad. And what I say is, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be sad. It really is. And I don't think a lot of people see that way. Again, those kind of things are getting better. So let's look at some strategies that can help you cultivate emotional authenticity and emotional resilience to embrace your full spectrum of emotions, including the ones that you might find a little uncomfortable because you've been conditioned to find them uncomfortable. And the more that you get comfortable with them, the more that you're comfortable with them. The more that you're going to feel like, yeah, I feel sad, but you know what? It's okay. This is a normal situation for me to feel sad or angry or whatever you're feeling. Loving, grateful. The more you can embrace the whole range of emotions, the more you can embrace the whole range of emotions, consider a paradigm shift, okay, towards realistic positivity, which acknowledges the complexities of menopause, some of the frustrations, the feelings that you have, the real emotions that you're having, while also fostering empowerment and self-compassion. And here, the technique or the paradigm shift, this conversation is a start. The fact that there are women all over the world that are starting to talk about this so much more. So education and understanding is actually becoming more accessible, and that's great. So take advantage of that. Join communities, reach out to people, learn more, educate yourself, understand that you're not the only one going through this. You're not in it alone, okay? Utilize practical tips and tools to navigate the menopausal anxiety with honesty, with courage, with self-awareness. So as this conversation continues, we are becoming aware of many unique ways to deal with menopause and anxiety. There are ways to deal with this that fit any value system. There's no cookie cutter solution. You don't have to resort to drugs or HRT if that's not aligned with what you value. There are natural solutions, mind-body processes, energy work, frequency therapy, meditation, other forms of mindfulness. You certainly don't have to power through. You don't have to suck it up, and you don't have to just deal with it. And you most certainly do not have to be artificially positive. Express all your emotions in a healthy way. Become part of a supportive community that fosters that connection and understanding. Surround yourself with women who understand and get it and can support you through expressing everything in a healthy way so that you have that physical and mental wellness. I mean, community support and solidarity is key to feeling seen, to feeling heard, to feeling understood. And that goes a long way to combat menopausal anxiety that might be fueled by toxic positivity. Having open dialogue, empathy, mutual understanding in a safe space where women are sharing their menopausal experiences authentically. I mean, doesn't that sound amazing? If you're looking for a community like this, check out the links in the show notes for different ways to connect with me and my community and choose one that works best for you right now. I am very accessible and very reachable, and I respond. So connect with me if you have thoughts or questions or concerns. And there's even an option to book a call with me if you want to talk in more depth and get more guidance and see how I can support you. Thanks for joining me.